The legendary pop goddess Cher has now reached the age of 80, but her life is far from the glamorous image many envision. The world sees only the stage lights and fame, but behind the curtain lies a life filled with chaos, loss, and emotional wounds that never fully heal. In this video, you'll witness firsthand the struggles Cher has endured. These haunting moments might truly shock you. Let's dive in. If Cher's story behind the spotlight moved you, take a moment to share your thoughts in the comments below. Was there something in her journey that you deeply related to? Was there a moment that made you see the reality of fame in a whole new light? Hit that like button if you admire Cher's strength, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss more untold stories behind the world's greatest icons. Cher's parents, Georgia Holt and John Sarkisian, met when they were young. At the time, Georgia was working in a donut shop in Fresno, California, while John was a truck driver known for his charm and good looks. Their romance was brief but intense, and they married in a spontaneous Nevada ceremony full of youthful hope and impulsiveness. However, things didn't turn out as they had imagined. Georgia soon realized marriage wasn't what she truly wanted and left shortly after. After some persuasion, she agreed to try again for 3 months. But before those months were up, she was pregnant with Cher. When Cher was just 10 months old, her parents split for good. Though she didn't grow up close to her biological father, Cher retained a deep pride in the Armenian heritage he passed down to her. This heritage became a core part of her identity and would always hold significance in her life. Cher's early years were shaped by a series of changes, particularly through her mother's multiple marriages. Among them, her third stepfather, actor John Southall George, was the most present during her childhood. Though that marriage ended when Cher was just 9 years old. Georgia Holt married a total of 7 times, including twice to Cher's biological father. In a 1978 interview, Georgia shared that societal expectations at the time pressured her to marry to maintain respectability, as living with a man without marriage was socially unacceptable. As a result, Cher's childhood was filled with transitions, new homes, new men in her life, and never a lasting relationship. Cher, the legendary pop goddess, has not only lived with fame, but also faced countless challenges in her life. Despite her stardom and brilliant career behind the stage lights, she endured profound loss, emotional wounds, and psychological pressures that were not easily overcome. Her life story is not just a journey of rising to the top, but also a lesson in resilience and the strength to overcome adversity. Cher's life began in a family fraught with instability. Her mother, Georgia Holt, and father, John Sarkisian, married young, but their marriage was short-lived. After they separated when Cher was just 10 months old, she grew up in an unstable environment marked by her mother's multiple marriages. Georgia married 7 times in total, causing Cher's life to be in constant flux, moving from one home to another, living with grandparents or stepfathers. Despite this, Cher held fast to her pride in her Armenian heritage, which helped shape a vital part of her identity. Cher faced not only family challenges, but also struggled with material hardship. As a child, She often felt ashamed of her worn-out clothes and was scolded for ruining shoes, as her family couldn't afford replacements. Some weeks they lived in poverty, eating canned stew and beans, while at other times they resided in Beverly Hills. These stark contrasts painted a confusing picture of Cher's life, leaving her feeling caught between dreams and harsh realities. At just 16, Cher dropped out of school to pursue her passion for music. She moved to Los Angeles with hope and determination, where she met Sonny Bono. Their relationship evolved from a simple musical collaboration into a deep romance. Together, they created breakout hits like I Got You Babe, becoming household names in the music industry. However, their career wasn't always smooth. Despite early success, their film Good Times and subsequent projects fell short of expectations, forcing them to seek a new path. Cher and Sonny's relationship was not just musical, but a full partnership in their career. As their career waned and emotional pressures mounted, they decided to try performing in Las Vegas. This marked a shift from music stars to seasoned stage performers. The move not only salvaged their career but also restored their stardom, with the Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour launching in 1971 and becoming a major success. However, their personal relationship grew increasingly strained and unsustainable. Despite maintaining the image of a happy couple for their career, Cher and Sonny divorced in 1974. After the split, Cher faced significant financial challenges, leaving the marriage with little to her name. This was a painful turning point, especially for someone who had trusted Sonny to manage their finances. Despite enduring numerous financial and emotional hardships, Cher has continued to forge her path, not only in music, but also in television and film. Challenges have not defeated her. Instead, they have shaped her into a resilient woman, a living icon of strength and recovery. Cher's life, from losses and struggles to relentless reinvention in her career, paints an inspiring portrait, a testament to the resilience and strength to overcome challenges that many cannot imagine. Cher invested so much into her partnership with Sonny Bono, not just her talent, but years of dedication. Their split marked the end of an era, and while it opened the door to her solo career, it came at a heavy emotional and financial cost. It was a painful transitional chapter in Cher's life, letting go of a bond that had defined her for over a decade and starting over from scratch, with only her resilience, her voice, and her will to survive. Though she shined on television, few knew the storm she was weathering behind the scenes. After ending her partnership with Sonny, Cher found herself at a crossroads for the first time in years. She stepped into the spotlight alone, without a partner to lean on and no financial cushion. Many believed her career would fade without the duo that had made her famous. Yet, true to her nature, Cher refused to vanish. She launched her own television show, simply called Cher. It was a leap into the unknown, especially after being told she wouldn't succeed without Sonny by her side. But, defying expectations, the show became a hit. Audiences embraced her as a solo artist, proving that her star power depended on no one else. While Cher's show thrived, Sonny's The Sonny Comedy Review struggled and was canceled after just one season. But Cher's career path wasn't without its own challenges. Her 1975 album Stars failed to make a significant impact and slipped down the charts. Her follow-up, I'd Rather Believe in You in 1976 performed even worse, missing the charts entirely. Still, she persisted, releasing Cherished in 1977, but it met a similar fate. Despite her efforts, the reception remained lukewarm. Next, she collaborated with her new husband, musician Gregg Allman, on the album To the Hard Way. But fans responded coldly, and the project quickly fizzled out. In 1978, Cher's career seemed to lose momentum. Warner Brothers dropped her contract, ushering in a new period of instability. This chapter in Cher's life was a quiet struggle, a fight to prove herself once more in an industry that often celebrated reinvention but rarely made room for true innovation. It was not just a test of her talent, but of her resilience. Yet Cher had already shown the world she could rise from personal losses. Now, she had to rise again, this time from the weight of professional setbacks. Shortly after finalizing her divorce from Sonny, Cher's life took an unexpected turn. In 1975, she began a whirlwind romance with Gregg Allman, the renowned musician and frontman of the Allman Brothers Band. Just 3 days after her split from Sonny was official, Cher and Gregg tied the knot. However, a mere 9 days after the wedding, Cher filed for divorce. Life with Gregg was a stark contrast to anything she had known, marked by a lifestyle she wasn't prepared for. Their relationship was tumultuous, yet there were glimmers of hope for reconciliation. A month later, Cher and Gregg reconciled, attempting once more to build something meaningful. However, the challenges persisted, and Cher made the tough decision to reunite with Sonny to relaunch their variety show in 1976. This move added strain to her marriage with Gregg. The demands of fame, distance, and unresolved tensions made moving forward increasingly difficult. Ultimately, Gregg filed for divorce. Cher pressed on through her challenging journey. When she discovered she was pregnant with Gregg's child, the news shifted her path once again. Despite their best efforts, the relationship couldn't find true peace. In 1978, they parted ways for good. Reflecting on the relationship, Cher expressed her feelings with few but profound words. It was a deep connection, but their time together was fraught with challenges, leaving a lasting mark on both their lives. Cher moved forward with grace, cherishing memories that were both joyful and bittersweet. After enduring pain and moving forward step by step, this chapter wasn't just about a failed marriage, but also about daring to hope and facing harsh realities. Cher learned that love, even with a willing heart, sometimes isn't enough. Following the end of her marriage to Gregg Allman, Cher found herself at another crossroads. Her music career was faltering, and the industry she once dominated seemed to move on without her. But Cher, ever resilient, refused to give up. Cher signed with Casablanca Records, an iconic label known for its strong presence in the disco era. Though deeply rooted in rock, Cher agreed to explore a new sound and recorded Take Me Home, a track infused with disco's pulsing rhythms and aesthetic. Ironically, the genre she had hesitated to embrace catapulted her back into the spotlight. Take Me Home became a much-needed hit, bold and seductive, unlike anything she had done before. Alongside this, Cher's image transformed, and she was reborn as a disco queen. Despite her initial success with disco, maintaining that peak was far from easy. Later that year, Cher released the album Prisoner. initially intended to showcase both her rock and disco sides. However, the album failed to make a significant impact and didn't chart. Undeterred, Cher followed her heart and shifted her focus back to her rock roots. If you've ever felt lost between expectations and setbacks, remember Cher's story. Even though Prisoner didn't find the success she hoped for, she didn't stop. She listened to her heart and returned to her roots. Rock music. Drop a comment below. Have you ever had to pick yourself up after a fall? How did you find your way back to yourself? In 1980, Cher formed the band Black Rose with partner Les Dudek, aiming for a bolder, rebellious rock sound. However, the Black Rose album didn't achieve the success she hoped for. Many fans didn't realize she was the powerful voice behind it, and the project quickly faded into obscurity. Still, Cher never lost her determination. She pressed forward, always seeking new directions, forever chasing a space where she could feel at home. After setbacks in music and personal struggles, Cher made a bold decision. She shifted her focus to a completely new field: acting. This wasn't just a career change, but a leap of faith in herself. In 1983, she took on a supporting role in Silkwood, starring alongside Meryl Streep and Kurt Russell. The film, a powerful story based on the real-life events of Karen Silkwood, showcased Cher's performance, which stunned both audiences and critics. Her role earned her a Golden Globe and an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actress. With this performance, Cher proved she was more than a singer or entertainer. She was a serious actress with depth and heart. This marked a pivotal turning point in her career. Cher continued to redefine herself, overcoming challenges and achieving success in realms she had never imagined. Cher didn't just build her reputation in Hollywood. She proved her acting chops in critically acclaimed films like Mask and Suspect. These roles showcased her talent for drama and her ability to take on complex, layered characters. However, the moment that truly cemented her place in film history came in 1987, when she starred in Moonstruck, a romantic comedy that changed everything. As Loretta Castorini, an Italian-American widow torn between reason and passion, Cher delivered a performance that was both captivating and deeply moving. Her warmth, humor, and emotional honesty won over audiences and earned her the Academy Award for Best Actress. But this wasn't just a trophy, it was a powerful statement. A woman who had once been doubted, dismissed, and defined by her past had now become one of the most celebrated actresses of her time. This chapter in Cher's life is not just about success, but also about transformation. It's the moment when all the struggles, reinvention, and perseverance finally paid off. The girl who once felt out of place in school, the young woman wearing rubber-banded shoes, the artist who was told she wouldn't survive without a partner, now stands at the peak of Hollywood on her own. But life took an unexpected turn while filming The Witches of Eastwick in 1987. Cher began to feel unwell. Initially, the symptoms seemed mild, but they gradually became more serious, leading to a worsening health condition that deeply impacted her life for many years to come. Cher, who was always known for her energy and strength, suddenly had to face a virus that weakened both her body and mind. She contracted pneumonia and was forced to step away from work entirely for 2 years. She couldn't act, couldn't sing, and had to turn down roles she had long dreamed of. During that time, Cher shared with the New York Times that it was a silent pain, both physically and mentally excruciating. It was a sudden halt in her life and career, a challenge that Cher had to confront and overcome. She had to rebuild from what couldn't be seen, a strength that no one knew existed. Despite everything, Cher never lost her determination. When she returned, she was not only a singer or entertainer, but also a serious actress. Her relationship with Sonny Bono had ended long before, but Cher never stopped recognizing his role in her life. By the late 1980s, Sonny Bono had made a shift to a new field, politics, becoming the mayor of Palm Springs, California, before moving on to Congress. Although their romantic relationship had ended, the respect and gratitude between them remained. During a vacation in Aspen, Colorado, Sonny Bono suffered a tragic skiing accident, and the news of the incident quickly spread, shocking the world. For Cher, the loss was more profound than for anyone else. Upon hearing the news, Cher flew from London to Los Angeles to be with the family at Sonny's memorial service. In her eulogy, Cher honored Sonny's vision and intelligence, the man who helped transform a shy 16-year-old girl into one of the most beloved entertainment duos of their time. Her eulogy didn't speak of past tensions or pain, but only of respect and gratitude. Despite her tremendous success and adoration, Cher still faced challenges in her family life. As a famous mother, her career demanded constant travel and undivided attention. This sometimes created a difficult gap to bridge with her son, Elijah Blue Allman. In a 2014 interview, Elijah shared his feelings of growing up with a famous mother, recalling how, at just 7 years old, he was sent to boarding school, an experience he described as feeling abandoned. Despite these struggles, Cher continued to push forward, building a resilient career and becoming a symbol not only in music but also in film. Her life story stands as a testament to the strength of overcoming obstacles and an unwavering drive to rise above them. Elijah Blue, Cher's son, candidly shared his emotions about his childhood. "It's hard to not feel like you're being pushed away," he said, expressing the silent pain he carried during his early years. The separation during his formative years left a lasting mark on his heart. And even as an adult, Elijah admitted that he was still processing those childhood emotions. "I'm at an age where I have to make peace with it because you just have to," he honestly shared, though that didn't mean it was easy. In 2013, there was a hopeful moment when Elijah and his wife, Marangala King, moved in with Cher for a short time to try to reconnect and rebuild their relationship. It was a promising opportunity to heal old wounds. However, life is never simple, and a dispute over details, never made public, caused the fragile bond to break once again. Elijah spoke without bitterness, describing their relationship as a work in progress, acknowledging that while many things had been resolved, there were still unspoken matters. "You'll have a different tone when you grow up compared to when you're a teenager," Elijah explained. Although there were still unresolved matters, one thing remained clear through it all. Elijah deeply loved and admired his mother. "She's really talented. She's amazing. I mean, she shares things that aren't always lovely," he said with quiet sincerity. Their story is not one of perfect reconciliation, but rather the complexity of being human, as a mother and son navigate their way through the shadows of time, fame, and pain. It serves as a reminder that behind every icon is a person, and behind every person is a journey. Cher's journey to motherhood is not defined by tradition. Her life on stage, the constant movement, and the demands of fame have left little room for a typical family life. Yet her love for her children has remained unwavering, even though the path to understanding and connecting with them has never been easy. Chastity Son Bono, Cher's firstborn daughter with Sonny Bono, would one day embark on a profound personal transformation. In the late 2000s, Chastity began the process of transitioning from female to male and chose to live as Chaz Bono. This journey was one of self-discovery, courage, and authenticity for Chaz, but it was also a process that brought emotions that were not easy for Cher. Although Cher had been celebrated as an icon of acceptance and strength within the LGBTQ community, she admits that Chaz's transition was not easy for her at first. "I didn't go through it as easily as that," Cher shared in an interview with Pride Source, expressing her struggle to let go of the image of the daughter she had known and embrace the son she was just beginning to understand. The relationship between mother and son, as well as Cher's journey of acceptance regarding Chaz's transition, was not an easy one. It was an emotional process, as Cher had to confront changes in her life and learn how to love and accept her son in a new way. However, it was Cher's resilience, courage, and unconditional love that demonstrated that behind the great challenges, there is a person always ready to overcome any obstacles to protect and love her family. Cher expressed her initial fear, wondering who Chaz would become and whether she would lose a part of her child in the process of his transition. However, something stronger than confusion began to take shape: love. Over time, Cher not only supported Chaz's transition, but also became a passionate advocate for her son's happiness and his right to live as his true self. She listened, learned, and above all, she chose love over fear. Reflecting on their journey, Cher shared, "Chaz is very happy now and we are more in sync than ever. Their relationship has grown stronger, deeper, and more authentic." Chaz's journey is not only a personal transition, but also a testament to the power of being seen, understood, and accepted, first by oneself and then by the most important people in one's life. It is a reminder that motherhood is not just about raising a child, but also about growing alongside them through confusion, change, and healing. Cher stood by her son, embracing the journey for what it was: a manifestation of truth and a triumph of love. Now, nearing 80 years old, Cher is a symbol of resilience and strength. Behind the awards and unforgettable songs lies a woman who has endured more than most people could ever imagine. She has faced loneliness in her childhood, heartache in love, and the burden of being misunderstood, even by those closest to her. She has witnessed relationships crumble, battled illness, and endured silence during moments when the world cheered the loudest. But Cher never stopped. She has reinvented herself time and time again through failure, fear, public scrutiny, and sorrow. Each reinvention was not a performance, but an act of survival, a reclaiming of strength. Cher has lived many lives in one: daughter, mother, icon, outsider, and voice for those without one. Through each chapter, whether joyful or painful, she has remained steadfast in her resilience, with grace and the distinctive fire that burns within her spirit. Cher's life may not be perfect, it may not have been easy, but it is real, and it is hers. And perhaps that's what makes her story unforgettable. If this journey has touched your heart, if Cher has ever given you strength through her music, her story, or simply her presence, share your thoughts in the comments below. What moment in her life has moved you the most? What does sharing mean to you? Let us know, and together, let's celebrate the strength behind the spotlight.